Hey guys, hope you're having a great day. Welcome back to another episode of Real Talk Huntsville with Tim Knox and my lovely co-host,
Kim Savage.
How come you never introduced me as your lovely co-host?
I don't think that would be appropriate.
You just go, yeah, the guy on the video next to me.
That guy wearing his grainy mustard shirt.
What do you think of the mustard shirt? I'm kind of stepping out a little bit. I
do.
normally do white or black.
I do like it. When I walked in today, you didn't have the jacket on, so all I saw was the mustard shirt, and I thought, well, that's different for him.
You didn't think it was a bit much?
I like it. I think it's good to step outside the box.
Well, you know, we've been through this before. My closet is set up that I go through it until I get to the end, and then I launder.
Yeah.
Well, all of my black and white shirts are dirty.
Okay. So you had to move
So
on to
I'm
grainy mustard.
I'm going into the color field. This is a grainy mustard, but it does somewhat match the jacket.
Wait, do you organize your closet by like what you wear the most?
Yeah.
And then not by color.
Not by color.
What you
I
wear
start-
the most goes in the front.
Yeah.
And then it just sort of
You
continues.
know my wardrobe. Black shirts are my thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then after that, I've got some white shirts, and I've got some blue shirts,
Okay.
and then I got a couple of pink shirts I didn't buy, but then
Sure.
I finally get to the shirts I rarely wear.
Mm-hmm.
This being one of them. Probably why it smells like mothballs. So
smell
anyway,
like mothballs.
welcome into the program, mustard shirt and all. So a lot going on. We're going to jump right into it. How was your week?
My week has been good. It was a little stressful because I'm teaching I have two daughters. One's 17 and already driving.
Right.
The other one is about to turn 16. So it's driving lesson time.
Oh my gosh.
And I had shared on Facebook a little bit of my experience because when I bought my daughter Harper her car, I thought it was important to get a safe car.
A good safe car,
I got
yeah.
a Volvo, which I feel is a very safe car.
Can't go wrong with a Volvo.
But it's old, so it doesn't have backup camera. It doesn't have Bluetooth. It doesn't have, lane change assist.
It doesn't have all the tech.
It has very basic stuff.
Right.
Very basic. So Hunter is learning to drive on that car because I don't want her crashing my nice car.
I don't blame you one bit. Well, but it's really funny if you learn to drive on a normal car. Like I never use my backup camera.
Right.
Because it really confuses me. In my little car, the backup camera is actually in the mirror. So when you put it in reverse, there it is. And if I try to back up, looking at that, I always go over the curb. So
happens.
I'm the old arm on the seat, turn around.
That's the way you have to learn.
I don't have the lane assist. I look in my mirrors. So she's having to really learn to drive old school, which I think is great.
I think it is too, and less distractions. You can turn on the radio.
Does it have a radio? Just
It
an AM
does
radio?
have- my first car
Okay.
car only had AM radio. And in fact, do you remember you had the dial button and then you could go
You could set the
across
push buttons.
the state. Yeah, you set the push buttons.
Yeah.
Right?
I remember that. Yeah, there was nothing. I mean, these were buttons. You had to literally.
You
they
had
were
to
like
jam them.
jukebox buttons.
They were like jukebox buttons.
Yeah, my first car only had AM radio because that's all there was back then.
Good point.
Was AM radio, and I mean, you would, turn that dial and try to hone in and get on there.
Yes.
But what was your first car?
Well, technically, my first car was my mom's old car, and she had a really old car to begin with, and then I got it. So I don't know the year, but it's called a Pontiac Grand Le Mans.
I had a Grand Le Mans. Mine was
way.
actually green, the color of this jacket. What
It
color
had a
was yours?
bench seat. It was white with blue interior.
Yep, I had a Pontiac Le Mans.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good car, but then the engine exploded at some point.
The Le Mans was the low rent version of the GTO.
Oh, is that
Same
right?
body style,
Okay.
different engine and stuff. But yeah, my first car, and again, it was the family car, was a 1965 Ford station wagon.
Nice.
And it was the one with the faux wood grain on the side. Remember those?
Is that like a Griswold car?
Yes, exactly. It was a kind of a pukey green, but it had the faux, it was literally like wallpaper on the side of the car.
Yeah.
And the car was so old that had kind of worn away, so my dad just took brown paint and painted over where the wood grain was.
A prized possession.
But this car, it was one of those, it had the kid seat all the way in the back, right?
Yep.
And it faced backward.
Yeah.
Some of them they had them across from it, but this one, so I remember sitting back there as a kid just looking at where I'd just been.
Where you had been.
Rather than
or
where
like,
I was going.
Did you like make fun of like faces at people behind you?
Yeah.
My brothers would do that. They would sit in the back window. Like there wasn't even a back like rear facing seat. They would just get in that window.
Yeah, in that window.
You know, because the cars were big and they had that like back window. And at least one of them would get in the back window and like make faces and things.
My brother and I would get back. We would do like the we're being held hostage, where we would just put our heads up and then we'd grab our heads and anything to get the old man in trouble.
You could do that like before, like in the 70s or 80s. I feel like you could do that. If you did that today, I don't think that would go over.
Well, we were just trying to get the old man stopped. Is what we were. But so you learned to drive on that car?
I did learn to drive on that car, and then my dad was going to get, after the engine blew up, my dad said, well, long story, but my uncle was a used car dealer. So he had this Ford Escort, and he said, but it's a stick. Do you know how to drive a stick? And I was like, yeah.
Duh. Did you? No.
So I got that car, and I was, grinding through the gears and all that. But I learned really quickly how to drive it.
The worst part about learning to drive a stick is if you come up to a hill.
Yes.
And you got to coordinate those pedals, right?
Luckily, my hometown did not have a lot of hills.
Mine did. I actually learned to drive. My dad taught me to drive when I was honestly, I was like 13 or 14. And he had an old Chevy pickup truck with the gears up on the steering wheel column.
They call that 3 on the tree or
three on the tree, something like that. But the reason that he taught me to drive, and this is sad, was because quite often he would have a little too much to drink and did not want to be arrested. So he would let his 12-year-old son drive the pickup.
I mean, 12.
Yeah, it's a life lesson. I guess he figured that if the police stopped us, they would go a lot lighter on me.
Yeah, a lot more lenient.
Than him passed out in the seat.
Since we're talking about family members who drink and have us drive for them, my dad and my uncle as soon as I got my license, they were like, all right, so here's the beer that we drink. Here's the store that you need to go to get it. I wasn't old enough to buy it, but it was Louisiana, so I would just say, I'm getting it for my dad. And they were
getting it for Daddy.
They were like, okay.
That's funny. So you became the gopher. You would go. Same here.
Yeah, I would get their beer. I'd fetch them from, if they were having a happy hour. Yeah.
Jeez. So teaching your daughter to drive. I taught both of my daughters to drive, and neither one will ride with me now.
I can understand
years and years later, because I still just make it. Like Sierra, my youngest, she's like, you're driving or I'm not going. So how nerve-wracking is it teaching your daughter how to drive?
Well, so Harper was fairly easy because of her personality. Hunter is a little more challenging because she, she wants to have the sunglasses and the hair and the music and all the things.
And the selfie.
Yes, the selfie.
Yeah.
So it's a little more challenging, but we love her.
Well, the hard thing is not letting them fiddle with things.
Yeah.
It's
very distracting.
Yeah, now it's not as bad, but back, again, when we were learning to drive, you had those buttons you could program in, but if there was nothing on those 5 channels, you're turning
the dial.
And I actually ran off the road and hit a tree one time changing the radio station.
Well, yeah, so I guess we had our own distractions.
We did, but cars were a lot more, I think they were a lot more sturdy back then because they were made of metal. Like that Pontiac was metal.
Yeah.
And that old station, they're using those station wagons in Ukraine.
Yeah, they're still on the road,
because you can't kill the damn thing.
You cannot. Of course, now you found yourself a car with your face on it. Tell people the story. People think.
I do. Here's the thing. Yes, I have, what I drive now is I drive a little Lexus hybrid, 50 miles to the gallon, but I'm a realtor, and so as part of our marketing is, yes, my big giant head is on the side of my car.
No one can steal that car.
No one would want to steal this car, but my wife says it's life size, that head. My thing is, when you get my age, you need all the help you can get finding your car in the parking lot.
That's true. Well,
so,
you can't lose yours.
I can't lose mine.
Green and white, and it has your big face on it.
And during COVID, I had a magnetic mask made for the
thing
on the side. But yeah, so anyway, but yeah, I do a lot of driving, so I like the nice little
50
hybrid.
50 miles per gallon.
50 miles a gallon. And that car has gotten me so much business. Because let me tell you this. When you have your phone number on the back of your car, it cuts down on your road rage.
That's right.
Considerably.
Yes.
Because you remember me, I used to be
Crazy.
you know, and now I'm like, hey, how you doing?
Now you're like
You know
driving
why?
Miss Daisy.
Because when you press the horn, it goes, "Nyeh,
That's
nyeh,
funny.
nyeh."
So how does it get 50 miles per gallon?
It is a hybrid,
Okay.
meaning that it has an electric, a big electric battery, but also has a gas-powered engine.
Okay.
So what you can do is you can set it where it just runs off of that battery, or you can set it where it runs off gas or in the middle. But even running it on economy, which is what I do in the middle, I'll get 45 to 50 miles a gallon.
But you don't have to charge it up. Like you don't
Do not
plug
have
it
to
in.
charge it up. I'm not sure I'd want to do that.
Yeah, I was wondering, what do you think about? I've noticed at Buc-ee's they have like all the charging stations, and like even Cracker Barrel and things now.
Yep.
We have charging stations. So
Yep.
yeah, I think we're, a
Well,
lot more people have electric cars
I think
now.
my thing is the range gets better, I'll be more comfortable. For example, if you're in a car that has a range of, let's say, 200 miles, which some of the older ones do, you better find a charging place within that 200 miles or you're dead in the water.
You're not going
And
far.
you can't jump those things off. So I don't know. I'm still going to give it a few more years
Okay.
before. Would you ever be really comfortable in a self-driving car?
Maybe. I
Would
don't
you?
know, maybe.
Oh, man, I
I
don't
guess
know.
it depends. I mean, I guess if I could, do my nails or read a book. I mean,
Well, there was a thing on the news the other day on one of the highways in California, this Tesla, 70 miles an hour, and the driver was taking a nap. And people were pulling up next to her, taking a video. I'd be going, "Nee, nee."
I feel like some people that don't have self-driving cars
Do so anyway.
maybe do, yeah.
Do you ever drive with your feet? Drive with your foot out the
With my
window?
knees, with my
Yep,
knees a
been,
little
been
bit.
there. You
Yeah.
ever do your makeup while driving?
Maybe a smidge.
Yeah, just a smidge my eyes. So
Just a smidge.
anyway, well, good. Well, I hope you survived the driving
Yeah,
lessons. I
we're
remember
hanging in
them
there. We're hanging in there.
being an interesting time. Let's talk about the local real estate market really
Yes.
quick, and then we'll get into what's going on. Another month has passed, and so we've got some data to share. The last time we talked a month ago, the prices were kind of doing this a little bit. We are not in a market where the bottom is going to collapse. It's just not. We're not that kind of market. But I am happy to report that the prices are holding steady or even increasing a little bit. Existing homes, we follow 4 main metros, Huntsville, Madison, Decatur, and Athens. The average home price in the city of Huntsville is $328,000. In Madison, $411,000, Decatur, $339,000, Athens, $302,000. That's up in every market except Athens.
Okay.
And I'm not quite sure why Athens took a dip, but Huntsville, Decatur especially did one of these, Kim. So the prices have not only held steady, but they've started to rebound. Are we going to get back to where we were a year ago? I don't think so, because we don't have that kind of competitive environment, but still things are looking up. Days on market have gone up a little bit though. Days in market for Huntsville, 16 days, Madison 27, Decatur 9. Decatur's such a hot market.
It is.
I need to go over there, I
Decatur is a great
guess.
area. Well,
Yep.
we've got Valerie covering that area for
We
you.
do. Days on market in Athens, 18. We're still in a low inventory situation. Across the board, we've got about a month and a half worth of inventory. Meaning if nothing else comes on the market a month and a half, we're going to be out of houses here. So it's still a seller's market, but sellers are now willing to negotiate a little bit and that sort of thing. As far as new construction goes, a lot of new construction happening around here. The average home price for new construction in Huntsville, $458,000.
Wow.
Wow, that is a big jump. Madison $499, Decatur $341, Athens $406. I found it interesting. I did a video a couple of months ago, I guess, the 5-year, where we were 5 years ago compared to today, and we were seeing like a doubling and tripling of prices in those markets. So anyway, bottom line is the prices have held firm, going up a little bit. Athens down a smidge. Inventory is still low. Days on market is rising. Days on market are rising.
Yeah, it's close enough.
Yeah, they're more than they were. But still, the market here is holding steady. So still a good time to buy a home. Of course, the Fed is saying they may have to go up on interest rates again. They're talking about that tomorrow. There's not a heck of a lot we can do about that. It's how they fight inflation. And so we just have to see where those rates are and go from there. So still a good time to buy a home here because the inventory, even though the inventory is low, there's a lot of houses to go around. So
yeah, we're definitely seeing more availability for sure.
we are, yep. So what's going on your side of the table?
Well, I found a couple of articles that piqued my interest this
Well,
week.
one you had sent me was about the housing market.
Yeah, about the housing market nationwide, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to hit on that for a second?
Yeah, why don't you? Then we'll get out of housing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the short 6.5 million homes. Did you go through this?
I skimmed it a little bit.
Basically what they're saying is demand is rising again, and that the 6.5 million homes being built around the country is actually low.
Yeah.
And supply again is I mean, the demand is greater than supply, but what's happening around the country is we are seeing more rental come up on it. And this is one of the things someone asked me the other day, why am I seeing all these apartment complexes going up around here? People have to have a place to live. If they are not in a position to buy or they want to wait out the interest rates, you're going to have a lot more rental. So really, anytime you see a lot of apartments going up, condos, townhomes, that's actually a good thing for the market.
It is a good thing.
Yep. And there's a lot going up. My only gripe is, I'm kind of an architecture buff. Every apartment house here, it looks like a shoebox now. They're it's like if Mr. Brady was designing all. Yeah, there's really no design anymore. We got a lot of them going up, but they literally look like different colored shoeboxes that have been stacked on top of each other.
We have, South Huntsville doesn't really have, I'm in South Huntsville, and we don't have a lot of apartments over that way, but there is a new apartment complex coming in, and some residents were a little bit peeved about it, actually.
Were they?
There was a little meeting about it recently.
What were they peeved about?
They don't want any apartments in their neighborhood.
We don't want that around here.
Bottom line.
Really?
But, it's a necessity, I think. Like you said, there's people who need to be in an apartment for whatever reason, for whatever amount of time. So I think it's a good thing.
There's a progression. When an area starts to build up, okay, they'll start building houses there, but chances are it's going to be at least 12 months before anybody sits in one of those houses.
Right.
So they start building temporary housing, apartments, etc. And then when the houses come, the people come, they start building up the businesses.
That's right.
And we've seen this happen along County Line Road in Madison. It actually kind of got backwards, and it wasn't a good thing because they started putting in retail along County Line before the houses were built. So a lot of those businesses that opened did not last very long because there was just nobody around to give them business.
It's like a housing
There you go, boys and girls.
ecosystem, isn't it?
It is like an ecosystem.
So, Huntsville, third grade students in Alabama, this is a little article from WHNT.
Okay.
Third grade students in Alabama have been given more time to increase their reading skills, but that time is running out. So apparently there is something, I never knew of this, but it's called the Literacy Act, and it was put on hold during COVID. But it will resume for the 2023 and 2024 school year. So it will be given a pass or be retained based on the reading standard of the kids. And Huntsville City Council members Bill Kling and David Little held a special town hall meeting just this past week with a focus on education. Huntsville City School Board members were there. And they're just, letting everyone know that this is something that's going back into effect. They're putting a lot of time, attention, resources into these third graders just to make sure that they are at the right standard for reading in Alabama.
So I guess they assume that when COVID hit, everybody stopped reading.
I guess that seems to be the case, but maybe they were just giving everyone a little leeway.
So they can learn how to use TikTok.
Yes, exactly. So, so that kind of made me think about, libraries were one of my favorite things.
I see how you connected those dots.
I always like to connect the dots. Huntsville, we have great libraries. I don't know if you visit the library very much.
Well, I'm not much of a bookworm anymore. Libraries are those buildings with books that people used to go to before the internet, right?
That's right. You could go to get a book on just about anything.
Wow.
Valerie was telling me she got her book at the library when she was flipping houses on how to put in a ceiling.
Yep. All kidding aside, I can remember when you pretty much had to go to the library or go to a bookstore and actually pay money for a book. Do you remember when you could you could check out like videotapes and stuff from the
yeah,
library?
absolutely. Well,
I love
you
that.
still can.
Can you? Well, I don't
You can
know.
check out music CDs. You can still check out DVDs.
Wow.
Yeah, I love the library because it's free.
I remember when VCRs were first a thing. It's kind of like the apartment buildings becoming before the houses.
Right.
VCRs came out really before there were a lot of video stores.
Yeah.
So the only place to get videos on VHS tapes was at the library.
At the
And
library.
the selection was not great. I checked out Fiddler on the Roof 24 times.
No, you didn't.
If I were rich, man, I love that.
Well, we have about 10 library locations in Madison County, all over the city. There is a great new library, and I say it's newish, but it's about a 30,000 square foot library. It has a cafe. It has different meeting rooms. And I just pulled up some of the events at the library.
Okay.
I used to take my kids to story time.
I think
That
Melissa
was a
used to
big
take Sierra there,
thing,
yep.
Yeah. So they have homeschool groups that can meet there at the library. They have, this is funny, knitters and stitchers. So if you knit and you like to read books, you can meet at the
Wow.
library. They have teen crafting, toddler story time. They even have foreign language classes like Chinese language and culture. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Visit your local library, guys. It's
I
a great
do
resource.
think it's important that you introduce your kids to the library.
Oh,
I really
absolutely.
do. Because, we still buy a lot of those little kid books in my house with the grandsons. And the libraries are so cool because they're no longer just a place to read books. A lot of activity. We have a
it's
lot
a
of
whole
good ones here.
experience to go to the library.
Very cool. Look at you plugging reading in the library. Trying to bring a bit of culture to this barren wasteland.
Very uncultured setup here. That's
How
what I got.
funny. You had sent me another thing about, was it Muscle Shoals Sound Studio, which I think is just so cool. Talk a little bit about that.
So Sheffield, Alabama, I believe is where this
What's
is
that,
located.
an hour and a half to the west near Florence, Muscle Shoals?
Yeah. So Jackson Highway opened its doors in 1969. I'm having trouble reading with I got my. I have to
get
go
a bigger
between
monitor.
my glasses to read close and then my eyeballs to see far away. But there are 4 young men, merely teenagers. They started as session musicians at Rick Hall's Fame Studios in the mid-'60s, known as Muscle Shoals Rhythm Section. Isn't that exciting?
I actually know this well, as you would imagine. There's a really good documentary out on Muscle Shoals Studio and Fame Studio, and this started, in 1969. There literally were these guys, they were teenagers, they liked to play music. They opened up, they actually went to work for Rich Hall, who owned the studios.
Okay.
But it ended up the Muscle Shoals Sound. Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
Anyway, these guys eventually broke off and started their own studio called Fame. But during the the 70s, 80s, and even today, Muscle Shoals, Alabama is one of the meccas for recording. Some of the acts that recorded over there, Aretha Franklin, when she was new, when she was just coming out, Little Richard, Wilson Pickett, Otis Redding, they started out with a lot of black acts.
Yeah.
Then over the course of the years, the Allman Brothers, George Michael recorded there, who in my younger days I looked like the straight George Michael.
Crazy.
Allman Brothers, Willie Nelson, the Rolling Stones actually recorded there. That is just a really cool, and it is still open today.
Yeah.
And we'll post some pictures because they've got some really cool shots. Cher
really cool.
recorded there.
Yeah.
I mean, look at there's $1,000 for renting this.
Time.
This is the Rolling Stones paid $1,009 to record Wild Horses.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I love
And
that
so
song
so the musicians there, they came to be known as the Swampers.
Oh, okay.
Remember Leonard Skinner? Muscle
Yeah.
Shoals has got the Swampers.
That's right.
So,
okay.
yeah, so I really I'm glad you brought that up. I want to start doing more, kind of get out of Huntsville and look at some attractions because there's a lot of stuff in North Alabama that we're famous for.
We are.
Other than this the show, of
Other
course.
than just donuts.
So donuts, donuts. So hey, before we get into our piece, Kim went to the chiropractor.
I did.
And we got some video of her getting her bones cracked. So before we do that, are you excited about the Oscars? That's this weekend. Everybody's talking about the Oscars.
I don't pay a bit of attention
Don't get
to the
into
Oscars.
it at
I'm
all?
busy at the library.
Or teaching her kid how to drive around the library. Well, really quickly, actors in a leading role. First, let's do Best Picture.
Okay.
I want you to tell me if you have even got a clue what this movie is about.
Let me tell you, my daughter says if it's good, it's called gas, and if it's bad, it's called trash. So maybe I'll say gas or trash.
All right. Have you seen All Quiet on the Western Front?
Don't know.
It is it's actually an old book, but it's a war movie set in World War I, follows the exploits, particularly of this one young German soldier.
Okay.
No bells. Ringing
I mean,
no
I
bells
remember
there.
there is a book. I didn't read
There
the
is a
book.
book.
There is a book called that. I didn't know
It's
it was
at the
made
library.
into a movie. I'm gonna check it out of the
Yeah,
library.
a very depressing movie. But if you're a guy, I like war movies, and I kind of like, it's just really depressing all the way through. Avatar, The Way of Water, have you seen that? I haven't seen it either, but you know, the original Avatar, I saw like 20 times.
Original Avatar was good.
How about The Banshees of Inisherin? That's the one with Colin, what's his name? It's actually,
right here.
it's an odd little movie. It's set on this island, I think off the coast of Ireland. Ireland, did you hear me?
Ireland.
Anyway, it's about these two guys who were best friends for decades, and one of them all of a sudden decided he didn't want to be friends anymore.
Okay.
And it's just, it's really good, but it's incredibly odd.
Okay.
Elvis, you have seen Elvis.
I have not. My daughter.
Holy
saw
cow,
it.
we've got to get cable at your house, Kim.
know.
Jeez.
No, I see one on there that I've seen, and you guys are gonna know which one.
All right,
it is.
Elvis, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
No.
The Fabelmans.
Nope.
Steven Spielberg.
Nope.
Tar.
No.
Top Gun Maverick.
Yes.
Yes! Thank God there's a
I'm
movie.
gonna vote for that one.
All right,
because
so I'm
that's
going to
the
vote
only
for
one
that
I've
one too.
seen.
Yeah, Triangle of Sadness and Women Talking, which the Triangle of Sadness is actually funny. It's a comedy with Woody Harrelson, but yeah. So
okay.
you've got, but you know, here's the
No
question: Tom Cruise isn't going to win an Oscar.
Probably not, but
I mean,
I'm
come on.
glad it's in there because
Yeah.
it was a great movie and I've seen it.
Honestly, I like Tom Cruise. I like his movies.
Sure.
I don't care for him personally. When he comes to the house, he gets on my nerves.
Sure.
But yeah, he's just not going to win.
Yeah.
It's always got to be some artsy fartsy thing.
It's gonna be
you know,
artsy.
Avatar. Although Cameron did sweep with Titanic,
Oh, okay.
and I think with that. All right, so really quickly,
I feel like you
Best
have a pretty
Actor.
good Oscar commentary here, though.
Oh, thank you. All right. Okay, so you didn't see Elvis, so you don't know who Austin Butler is. He's the young man that played him
Okay.
dead on.
Okay.
Colin Farrell, Banshees of Inisherin. I love Colin Farrell.
Farrell, great
Anything he
actor.
does. Brendan Fraser in The Whale. This is the one that's getting a lot of buzz because this is his comeback, if you will.
Okay.
Have you heard anything about the movie? He plays like a morbidly obese man coming to terms with his daughter.
Okay.
They say it is just the role of a lifetime for him.
I
But
thought it was
yeah.
going to be about Moby, like a Moby Dick
Like a
type
whale.
thing. Yeah, that's where I went with that.
which you can also get at the
the
library.
library.
Paul Mescal for After Sun. Bill Nighy. I love Bill Nighy. Do you know who that is?
I don't think
He
so.
is an old British actor. Did you see Love Actually?
Yes.
Bill Nighy was the rock star.
Yes.
I loved him.
Okay.
So no opinion
I'm
there.
going to vote for Bill then.
Okay, good. Me too. All right, one more actress in a leading role.
Okay.
Kate Blanchett.
Oh, love her.
I love her. She's in Tar. She's like a conductor or something.
Okay, did not see the movie. but I
Anna
do
de
love
Armas
her.
for Blondie.
Nope.
For Blonde.
Blonde.
That is the Marilyn Monroe
Monroe.
biopic that got so much coverage.
Okay.
Andrea Riceborough to Leslie, don't know her. Michelle Williams, Fablemans, and Michelle Yeoh. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Nope.
Do you care? All right.
I got no opinion.
Well, there's no need to go through the other 475 categories.
Let's just all agree
So,
to vote for
anyway,
Top Gun.
yeah, we're all just going to vote for Top Gun,
And
Bill Nighy, and maybe Maybe who was the guy in Whale?
Kate Blanchett.
Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, Brendan
Because he is
Fraser.
in my grandson's Archer favorite movie, George of the Jungle.
Oh, that is a cute movie.
That's how high the bar is at my house. So, all right. So what are we about to see with your little visit to a chiropractor?
Our agents, Jeff and Terry Kirby, Team Kirby. So Jeff is actually Dr. Jeff Kirby, and he is a chiropractor. Right. He has been for 29 years. And I got a little adjustment at their new clinic.
You needed one.
Some would say I need an attitude adjustment and not a chiropractic adjustment, but hey. So I talked to them for a few minutes, and here they are.
I'm pretty sure this is going to crack me up.
Well, hey guys, it is Kim here with Revolved Realty, and today I am with Mr. Jeff Kirby, who is one half of Team Kirby. So Jeff is not only a very talented real estate agent along with his wife, Terry, but he is also a very talented chiropractor. And I'm actually here to get an adjustment today, Jeff, which I'm pretty excited about. But tell everyone out there how you got into chiropractic.
Well, Kim, thanks for having me on today. Yes, it was 29 years ago I became a chiropractor, and prior to that I played college football. I had aches and pains from that, and my mom at the time was going to a chiropractor and said, Jeff, maybe you need to check this out, and I did, and I fell in love with physical medicine, helping people move better, feel better, take pain away. I just fell in love with it, so I decided to be a chiropractor.
Awesome. I didn't know you had even been doing this for that long, 29 years.
Long time.
Yeah. So chiropractic can be great for just about anyone. Is that true? Not just athletes?
It's true. I mean, my youngest patient here at the office is 5 weeks old.
Wow.
My oldest patient's in their 90s. So
wow.
Everything in between.
5 weeks to in their 90s.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Really cool.
Yeah. So I understand chiropractic can help with all sorts of things, not just aches and pains.
It can. I mean, it helps with the nervous system. A lot of times when people get sick, I will adjust them because it just stimulates the immune system. And it's just great it is great for aches and pains. We here at Alliance Chiropractic here in Madison off of Hughes Road, we have a decompression center here. So we actually have machines that decompress the spine because over time your spine gets compressed.
Gravity, right?
Yes, we got to fight gravity.
We got to fight gravity, especially as we get older.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Terry had shown me the office, and I'll pop some pictures in so everyone out there in Viewerland can see it as well. It's a great office. It's a gorgeous office. It feels really calm and peaceful in here too, which I love. Yeah. So, and you're located really conveniently, 401 Hughes Road?
401 Hughes Road, right across from the large Phase 3 gym.
Okay, awesome. So tell everyone what's the best way to get in touch with you guys? Just give a call?
Yeah, just give us a call for an appointment. We're accepting new patients here. So our phone number is 256-325-1222.
1222. Okay, easy to remember.
Yeah. And
you have a website too?
We do.
Okay, do you remember it?
I'm not sure.
That's okay. We'll pop that in for the viewers.
Okay.
No worries.
Awesome.
You have a lot to remember.
I do, you're right.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, Jeff, thank you for taking a few minutes out of your day. I'm looking forward to my adjustment.
Absolutely.
And we'll see you next time.
I do want to say, I do like to start my day with my Revolved Realty cup.
Nice.
And I put a good protein shake in there and start my day off with that. It just helps me focus and gets me through the day.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, we love the Revolved cup, and we love all of your health advice. You're not only a chiropractor, but you're a pretty healthy guy overall.
I try to be.
That's awesome. Yeah. All right. We'll see you next time,
all right,
Jeff.
Come see us. Thanks. So T6, T7, a little tension right through there. Take a deep breath in for me. Blow it out all the way. Relax your shoulders. All right.
Yeah, so that was an awesome visit. I love their office. It's really nice. I love that they're such a team. They not only do real estate together, but they run this chiropractic office.
Where's the office located?
It's on Hughes Road in Madison. And it's a great place.
Man, sound effects. When Kim showed me this video, she's like, all right, wait for it. Like,
it's funny because you will have seen there in the video that I asked Jeff, well, what's your website? And he goes, you're going to have to ask Terry that.
Revolved Realty. Oh, funny. Well, did it feel better? You okay now?
I feel good.
Do you feel adjusted?
I do.
All right, very good. Well, maybe now you'll go out and see a movie.
For sure.
All right, guys, that is going to do it. We appreciate you playing along with us this week. We look forward to your comments below. As always, if we can do anything for you when it comes to real estate, believe it or not, we have a pretty successful real estate company here called Revolved Realty. We would be more than happy to work with you. Our contact information is below. So until next time,
See you guys.
Bye.